Hi guys, it's me again. My name is Sam, and I'm here to continue my story on diabetes and how it changed my life. On my last video, we talked about the things that I had to go through, find a doctor, get put on medicine, start exercising, start taking care of myself. So, to continue from that, that's what I was doing. I was taking my medication, 70 milligrams in the morning, 70 milligrams for lunch, after I eat lunch, and 70 milligrams before I go to bed, insulin. And I was also taking Actos. Now, I get up every morning, I go, and I walk 2 miles before I go to work. Now, in my last video, I also talked about that big thing that something happened. Well, it was life. Things happen in life, and you have to learn to adapt. So, I'm walking every morning, 2 miles a day, drinking a protein shake, going to work, working my butt off. This kept going on for 3-4 months. Trying to get my diabetes down, the sugar level down, trying to get back to somewhat normal. And all of a sudden, bam, life happens. And what I mean by that, the economy was bad. I got laid off my job. I was thinking, what am I going to do? No insurance, no help, and I didn't even know where to begin. I'll never forget that day because when I got my pink slip, I couldn't even believe it. So, just once again, I had to learn to adapt. I started going to the unemployment office and to the job search office, and just trying to get it together, wondering what I'm going to do because the insurance is going to end after this month, and I won't be able to get my medicine. And so, week by week, I started to get more pressure. My head starts to hurt more, and I'm worrying about everything, and it was a rough time because I didn't have no one to turn to, no one to even ask for help. And I tried going to the government offices and see what kind of help I can get. Did you know that there's no help for a man? I didn't know that. Here I worked all my life, and there was no help for me at all. No one could help me. No kind of service, no kind of government agency, nothing. The one thing they told me to do was I can go to the government as a medical facility. I don't really know the name of it offhand right now, and they'll help me, but they have to examine me, and then I have to go and fill out paperwork and all this stuff to get assistance. And so I went to this office, and the line was so long, and I decided to leave because I didn't want nobody else poking on me again, examining me. And I've already been seeing a doctor, and things were going really good. I didn't need a second opinion at the time because what the doctor was telling me to do, I did, and it was working. So the end of the month comes, and I get a letter in the mail from the insurance company that I still can get insurance, but at $460 a month. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to even have the money to pay my rent, let alone insurance. And I struggle because I've been working all my life. And it was just, I just didn't know what to do. And I started to feel a little depressed and didn't know who to call or anything. And you didn't want to call old friends because you never really called them before. So why call them now? Because you need something. Well, that was the kind of mindset that I had. So I didn't bother. So I went to my doctor's office and I just wanted to talk to him and tell him what happened. And so he listened, and first he sounded like he was concerned. And after a while I realized that as long as I don't have any money, they don't want to really have nothing to do with me. No insurance, no money, no service. But the nurse there was so nice. She gave me her number, and for the first 3 or 4 months, every month I would come by there and meet her outside, and she would give me the samples of insulin so that I can at least take some, you know. And I was really getting worried because, you know, of the incident in the hospital. So, but this went on for months, 3 or 4 months. And then one day she called me and said she can't do it no more. Somebody must have told on her, and she said she can't do it no more. She'll lose her job. Now, I thought doctors and doctor offices were here to help people. Everybody doesn't have money all the time. And I was going through a bad time. I was losing my place. They were forgiving the first month and forgiving the second month. But bottom line, people want their money. You can't live in the apartment for free. And I understood that. So I think I stayed there 1 more month. But every morning I did get up and I did walk 2 miles, and I was able to make my protein shakes every morning. I still didn't give up on my diabetes. I still was trying to get back to normal. And so 3 months later, the 3rd month into me not paying my rent, I got a notice saying that I have to vacate the premises. So I had no choice. And I ended up leaving, and things just got worse. And you know how you go through a bad time and then it's like, it's not 1, it's 2, it's 3, it just hits you all at one time. Nobody was there. Didn't really know who to call because they cut off my cell service. And other than that, nobody knew anything. But I knew better days was coming. I just had to keep my head up and just adapt. Now, what I'm not ashamed to say, and it is for people that need it, I did apply for government assistance, food stamps for food for a couple of months. And I explained to them just for a couple of months till I could get a job. And they were very accommodating. At least I was able to eat. Then I was looking in the paper, and I found a ad that said room for rent. And so I did this. I called them, and I was contemplating because my boys, I do have 3 boys. My boys live here, and I usually get to see them every other weekend. But you know, for those 3 months, for almost 6 months, I couldn't really see them. Things were really tight, really tight. And then you just learn how to survive. Not because I'm telling you this, I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me, because I didn't. You know, I just knew that I had to learn to adapt until I can do better. To make a long story short, I finally was able to get this room for rent. And I did little odd jobs, you know. I could repair computers and do all that stuff. And build computers, whatever. Electronically, I can basically find my way around it. And I started doing odd jobs to be able to pay my little room rent and all that stuff. And just looking for a job. Still no medicine. Worried like hell. So this is when I had to start doing more research on all the foods and what I should be eating. You know, since I can't take the insulin. So now, I have a friend who, her mom ended up buying me a computer so I can look for jobs instead of walking to the library and all that. She bought me the parts, I built it, started looking for a job, started looking for ways to eat the right way and keep my sugar level low. So what I did, one of the things I found out, and I started adding it to my smoothies, cinnamon. They've been doing studies on cinnamon forever. Cinnamon keeps the sugar level normal. So I would put 2 teaspoons in my protein shakes. And also, another thing about cinnamon that I've learned, the Chinese, they take a teaspoon of honey and a teaspoon of cinnamon and they eat it, and it gets rid of bad breath. It really works. It really works. Cinnamon and a teaspoon of honey, and it gets rid of bad breath. So anyways, I start putting cinnamon in just about everything I drink, even in water. And every morning I still would get up. I had to move to another area, another city, and I had to find a place to walk every morning. And since I wasn't working at the time, I get up early and I would walk 3 miles. Sometimes I would run, but rarely. Walk 3 miles every morning and walk 1 mile in the evening before it got dark, because I was worried about my diabetes getting out of control because I wasn't taking the insulin. But I noticed that I started to maintain, and I only had so many of those needles and, you know, refills to take your blood sugar. So I used them sparingly to check it every other day. And it just seems to work. It just seemed everything, even though I didn't have the insulin, I was keeping it down. Because another thing that I found out was beans. Beans. In my case, I got the black beans. I bought cans of black beans and washed all that stuff off and drained it. Beans were already cooked. So I would use beans, spinach, raw spinach, get me an onion, and buy like ham or a piece of pork and just a handful. Caramelize the onions, skillet the ham, make it like a stir fry with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of green onions, salt and pepper, a little bit, and skillet it like a fried rice sort of. And what I would do is, in another pot, the onions would be caramelizing, and what I would do is I would get a plate and put a bed of baby spinach, uncooked, on there. And then when sometimes I would use croutons, just a little bit of bread. You have to stay away from the bread, not much, but croutons for flavor. And I would put the meat on, and then put the caramelized onions, and then I would sprinkle it with a little bit of granola just for flavor. It was really good. And then so after that I started creating more stuff with the spinach and the caramelized onions, and I would get creative and have a few mandarin orange slices in half just for a little flavor. You don't have to stop eating everything. And then one day I would use pork, chicken, whatever meat, fish, shrimp, crab. What gave it the real flavor was the caramelized onion. And what I realized is that spinach is really good for you. Some people like spinach cooked. I hate it cooked. It tastes better not cooked. Best meals in a long time. I never got full. I never got full enough where my stomach was killing me. I would use like a half a cup of beans in each of those with the spinach and the caramelized onions. Great meal. And I started doing this and kept doing this and walking every day, trying to take care of myself with the little monies that I was making at the time. And then one day, I finally got a job. After 2 years. Worked my whole life, and I'm sure you have a story like this. You get laid off, and it's hard to find another job at the time because nobody was really hiring. So 2 years later, I found a job. Now in my next video, I'll tell you how that new job helped me get better, faster. My name is Sam, and it's always a pleasure talking to you. And if I can inspire you and help you in any way, please email me at bearbegood@gmail.com. That's bearbegood, BEARBGOOD @gmail.com. Thank you for your time, and I will see you again. Bye.